Hi guys, this is Rishi. I'm the guy you see on the corner. That's me. So we started off with Salesforce 15 years ago, and last 5 years we've been just doing projects. It's a quick brief about me. We started off Plug to Salesforce a couple of years ago. So I would be giving you a free few advices on how to implement Salesforce or pretty much any CRM you wish to. The moment you decide that you need a software, the best choice you can do is identify which products you want to use and start with a 30-day free trial. All cloud-based products give you a 30-day free trial. I'll mention a couple of good products which I like. Right from Microsoft has its product called Dynamics. Sugar CRM is there. I'll just give you a quick glimpse. Ensure that before you choose, while you choose, it's something like test driving a car. You should have potentially a list of use cases. Why do you want the new product in your company, and how would you be using it? So once you are empowered with a use case, it will help you identify which products you want to choose. Go for a 30-day free trial. Put all the developer instance. Ensure that you choose a multiple product catalog before you choose one. So I'll say try between Sugar, Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle On Demand, Zoho, and of course Salesforce. They'll all give you 30-day free trials. Choose the one which you like, and once you decide on the product, then a couple of clients ask me how much time do we need to fix this. There's no right answer. How much time do you need? Anywhere between 6 months to maybe less than 2 years. Once you identified which product you want to choose, do a lot of research. Generally Salesforce will win. Don't rush, don't panic to identify a choice. Do a lot of test drives. Use Gantt charts for project management. They'll help you stay in control of your timelines, the progress, and what requirements you've given. Your Pareto charts would help you identifying the most important requirements. So go for the most important requirements first. Use a Pareto for that. If you just want to know a little bit of Pareto, just Google for it. Once you've decided which product do you want to use, which CRM you want to choose, then the question is how much money do you want to spend. Of course, we understand you'll be spending some money on the Salesforce licenses or Sugar CRM or Microsoft Dynamics, whatever licenses you'll be buying, that you'll be buying. Apart from that, you'll need a team who will fix the software for you. Keep a tab on not only the money but also on the effort estimation and the time you are spending. Have timelines for each. Once you choose to have a new software in place, scrap off the old one, please. So assume you have a team here in India who would be fixing the entire product for you, which is a mammoth task, by the way. Then you must have a communication plan in place. This should be, you can have it in an Excel sheet, but how often would you talk? What points would you talk? How would somebody raise a red flag? How do you ensure that the requirements are gathered properly and are communicated to the team properly? So how often would you talk? What are the escalation points? Have a big communication place for a CRM project. It's a big project which you can make or break. You're spending a lot of money. Spend some time planning beforehand also. Once you are ready, you've chosen your product, you've chosen your timelines, you know where exactly do you want to go. Once you know from point A to point B you want to go, you want to scrap off your old system and you are bringing a new system, Go for a project kickoff. This should be on a fixed date and a fixed time. Ideally, your project kickoff should also define how much work do you want to do, what all work do you want to do, who would be doing what work. Have somebody as a manager or the owner of the product. Now that person should not be a very technical guy, a techno-functional guy would do, but somebody who is dependable and trustworthy should be your project manager. If you're choosing Salesforce, then I would surely recommend Salesforce One as your mobile app also. There are a lot of methodologies which we go for our development. Pretty much waterfall, we have the V model, the spiral. Agile is the most important these days. We are following the Agile these days. I'll take you through all of them. RUP is entire new IBM developed methodology for doing projects. So choose the one wisely which works best for your organization. Sit down with your list of requirements. Identify what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and for if you are buying a product while negotiating, always go for a sandbox also. Don't just buy a production license, buy a sandbox which is generally free with the product. If you are don't just cut a check and give it to the first guy who comes to your office for sales. Spend some time evaluating on the cost benefits. There are so many features available in a product, half of them are useless for you. So identify the ones which are important and pay wisely for only those products which you actually want to consume. Okay. In the case of Salesforce, I'll say don't go for Salesforce sites. Host your site on your own, GoDaddy or someplace which is far more reasonable and nice. If you want to use our services for negotiations also, we'll be happy to do that. A lot of clients ask us to do that. So we not only manage your entire CRM application, we also help you get the best price. Okay. The old waterfall model, the proven model, the one which is not followed at all in the market these days is a waterfall. You start going with your requirements, then the design, implementation, and your verification maintenance. Most of the SAP projects which were deployed between 1990 to 2005 followed this model. These days, how many people are using it? Pretty much very few. Don't go for this model. Okay. Do a lot of prototyping. Ideally, if you have a sandbox which you bought, do a lot of prototyping and simulate how the look and feel would be. Talk to end users, show them what you are building, engage a small team of developers plus your user base. Those user base people who are actually using the software would be in a very good position to tell us if they're finding the solution nice or the developers just building for themselves what they like. Okay. The incremental model is a nice model. It is a little time consuming. I'll just show you what it does. Iterative and incremental models are also nice. You keep on iterating. It's similar to RUP. This is the main difference between these two guys, incremental versus iterative. So it's pretty visible. What do you want to do? Make a choice and go for it. My personal choice, I like incremental. Okay. How much effort goes in once the project starts to the transition when the actual users start using the product? Do a lot of testing before it is deployed. Ideally should be 6 months. Once a beta is created, then you use it on a small user base. If you have multiple offices all across the globe, then instead of panning for all offices, you can start with just one office. If you are a single business owner who have just one office, then instead of going for the entire company, you should start off with one team. Maybe the HR team can start off with Salesforce or the sales team, and then you spread the product across all teams. Okay. Spiral model of deployment is not very used. This helps for bottom-up approaches when the projects are very big and you need a lot of management scope. Okay. For small businesses, spiral best avoid. Which model should you choose, top-down or bottom-up? I always like top-down. So the best projects we've done till now are where the manager just writes a one-liner of what the expectation out of the project is. So they would write something like, we need Salesforce up and ready in 6 months time, and these are the features which we are looking for now, and once the project is complete, then this is what we want now. We were working for a bank in Australia, and their use case was they wanted the number of credit cards in the market to triple. So they were saying, how do you use Salesforce is up to you, but this is what the top-down approach was. Okay. RAD is very nice for people like me who are very impulsive and don't want to plan. This just allows you to build a prototype. We do a lot of this. We were building Salesforce for a dentist, and they were going for the RAD model. They wanted something to be done very fast. Do a quick use case, show it to them. They like it, they use it. Otherwise, we just scrap it off. Agile is the model which is continuous development, which is being most used these days. Everything happens in a phase, right from strategy. You have the iterations. Generally, you have daily calls in this, and it's a continuous process. Scrum is the model we follow for Agile. So they both go hand in hand. Lean works very well while somebody is into manufacturing. We were doing a manufacturing project for a company here in India, and starting till ending, all they wanted lean. 3 things they wanted. A is how can you reduce wastage. B is how can we work with fewer resources and more machines. And third was, we want to go from a low wastage to a zero wastage company where we kind of don't raise the prices, but the revenue still goes up. Okay. And product Salesforce or any CRM per se there are various ways to look at it. I'll just show you what I mean when we say various ways. But different cultures use it differently. We are working with European clients, and what we feel is they're using it as only software as a science. So they would spend a lot of time understanding each and everything. They would have a very detailed approach. They would have a lot of designs before they actually start implementing. In Japan, we were working for a Japanese client. Everything is production. They want zero defects. They want software to work as a factory. India is pretty much software as a service. All the giants are just focusing on software as a service. Whereas our US clients, they're using it as a business. So not only would they put a use case forward, but we were working for one California-based client. They also wanted us to use extreme programming, and they wanted us to push a product into App Exchange. So they created a business around what they do, what they like, and they said they were from the print industry. So they said since it would be used very effectively in the print industry, they created a product and pushed it in App Exchange. We do extreme programming. It's a lot of releases in a short cycle. We also do pair programming. This is one slide we like. Kind of on the Pareto principle only. If you don't know Pareto, then just Google for it. It will show you a lot of things. Identify what needs to be done. So when we go to the business and say these are the list of requirements, what should we do? They say do everything. But in order to prioritize, when we start asking for each item has a price value on time as well as budgets, then they identify the ones which is the must do for them, and slowly it comes to the should do and the could do, and eventually future projects what they would do. Test driven deployment is nice. We generally do a lot of test driven. So if you are working with us as a company, we would consume your services not only as a project manager or a business who is just feeding our developers. We would also rely on you for testing. So not only would we do a lot of testing, but we would ask our end consumers as well as end users to do some standalone testing, things they like, things they don't like, where do you think how can we fail. So the bad thing about Salesforce is that I was talking to one client based in Australia, and they were saying they're not happy because a lot of people are not using Salesforce. So you have to be future enough to understand that people use it and not just buy it and forget it. Okay. The RUP model, this came in very handy by IBM. Generally, big companies go for the RUP model. Smaller companies generally go for feature-driven approach, which is the FTD. Or the V model I'm about to show you. The V model is again a waterfall model, generally used for big companies. I would suggest you stay away from it and follow the agile, where it's continuous and it's very fast and it's all prototype based. The dual V model makes multiple Vs. You check the hardware, software, but if you're using a cloud-based model, you don't have to worry about infrastructure at all. Which model should you use? I've noted down a couple of things which I feel are important. If you can identify the size of the team, is it a new versus a migration? We have a couple of Excel sheets which we can share with you, which will help you identify the time and budget which would be required for you to fix Salesforce for you. Ideally, we would say use Salesforce as a single point of truth, and all your legacy applications should ideally be scrapped, and your master data management should be done on Salesforce. Whether you go for Lightning or not, we say no, Lightning is not stable as of now. So I'm talking in April 2017. As of now, there are a lot of bugs which we face, and Lightning is a one-way entry. So should you go from the old model to Lightning, then you'll have to stay there, you can't come back. Okay. Should you use multiple software for your organization or a single software? For right from lead generation to marketing, sales to HR to production to billing to invoicing, we say use Salesforce. You can manage all your compliances. It's easy to use. Generally, don't try fixing Salesforce yourself or any CRM yourselves. These guys are way too cumbersome to manage. You don't know the best practices. Ideally, hire somebody who's a professional who's just doing this inside out. They know the product like the back of their hand, and when you hand off Salesforce for them, the keyboard works like a piano. It's like music. You'll see Salesforce coming to life in their hands. So don't insource, outsource. You'll save money, time, and it'll truly be a product worth all the effort you are putting in. Okay. The high level processes, ideally this should fit the customer. Identify the service which you are into and create solutions which are structured around that product and packaged around that. Go for speed, right? Don't go for old slow systems. Don't go for your own infrastructure. Put something on the cloud where you can use all the innovation which is going in. You can use the latest infrastructure which those guys have. So for all cloud-based products, right from Salesforce to Amazon, AWS, they're all powered by cloud. They're for the mass markets. You don't have to innovate yourself, they'll do it for you. As far as design, we like things which are kind of out of control. You should bring in a little bit of creativity, especially if you are using Salesforce One on your mobile. In India, we like some chaos. We just want vision statements, which are the outline statements, and let the design changes coming on from the end users. That brings in some degree of that also brings in some degree of improvement, where we get feedback and we can also see how the competition is moving. And if you are not rigid, then you can manage unforeseen changes, how the market is shaping up, how the technology is shaping up. So we'll say, when it comes to innovation and how should your instance look like, be a little flexible while you enjoy the ride. Okay. We say software is like rock climbing. It's a team effort. You have a lot of training. Our guys are always training. So 1 hour a day, each guy has to go for extensive training, and they'll teach others what they're learning. So on weekends, we generally have coffee sessions where the entire team shows up and we train each other on what's new on the product. Kind of limited resources, we are trying to do a lot. Okay. What are the best bets you should go? We would say Salesforce, do a lot of prototyping between Dynamics, Oracle, Sugar and Zoho. But eventually, generally, if price is not important, Salesforce wins. If you find Salesforce as very expensive, then ask us, we can negotiate. Don't use Salesforce as a marketing tool. There are other products. The best products which we like are Marketo and Pardot. Pardot is again part of Salesforce. Use them for your marketing, or you can use external tools also for marketing. But don't use Salesforce as a marketing tool. We can fix Salesforce for you. It's easy. We do that for a living. We do a very good job about it. Come to us and see how we can. Let's build a prototype, and we'll show you our skills. And thanks for listening to my video. This is me. You can call me. You can email me. I would be available, and all the best. Thanks. Bye bye.